lah mendatang.
The movie begins in 1993. Ratna tells her daughter Nita to take care of her little brother and warns her not to look at any evil force, because if she sees it, it will see her too. After saying this, she leaves the house. The scene then cuts to a dark ritual. Nita's father Jamal is about to obtain a magical charm called Dumila for wealth and good luck. The shaman chants spells and inserts the Dumila charm into Jamal's body. Meanwhile, Nita is trying to calm her baby brother when suddenly, the window flies open. As she moves toward it, a black cat jumps into the house. She quickly shuts the window. Back at the ritual, the shaman places a condition in exchange for the charm. Jamal will never be able to have another child again. Jamal agrees without hesitation. Just then, his wife Ratna arrives and demands that the ritual be stopped immediately. She orders the shaman to remove the charm and tells Jamal's uncle to end this black magic. Ratna warns them that if anything goes wrong, they will be responsible. On the other side, Nita leaves her little brother alone in the room and goes looking for her mother. Meanwhile, a woman named Asti informs Jamal that his wife is causing a scene outside. Ratna is furious and heartbroken after seeing Jamal worshipping dark forces. Suddenly, there are signs of the arrival of a Lampor, a ghostly carriage. Jamal is terrified and tries to rush Ratna back inside, but during the struggle, she falls and loses consciousness. Jamal carries her into the house. At the same time, Nita sees the Lampor and panics, running back toward the house. Ratna regains consciousness and in anger, slaps Jamal. Nita reaches home, but the Lampor follows her. A terrifying entity emerges from it and enters the house. Terrified, Nita hides under the bed as the entity picks up her little brother and disappears. Nita breaks down in tears after losing her brother. Just then, Ratna arrives. Nita apologizes for failing to protect him, but her mother, crying, tells her the devastating truth: her brother is gone. The evil Lampor has taken him, and Jamal is responsible for everything. Ratna decides they must leave this place forever so that Nita doesn't become the next victim. Nita agrees. The scene then jumps to 2019. Nita's mother has passed away, and friends and relatives are offering condolences before leaving. We learn that Nita's husband Edwin is struggling financially, his printing business has shut down, and he has mortgaged their house. His friend Anwar offers help, but Edwin refuses due to his self-respect. We are also introduced to Nita and Edwin's two children. Edwin gets irritated with Nita because she revealed their financial problems to Anwar. This leads to an argument between the couple over a hidden secret. Edwin discovers that Nita has been lying to him all along. She told him her father was dead, but in reality, he is still alive. Nita explains that both she and her mother believed her father was dead because he had married another woman. Feeling guilty, Nita apologizes to Edwin for her mistake, and they start discussing what to do next. Edwin tells her that they'll go meet her father and inform him about her mother's final wish. The children will come along too. The scene then cuts to Nita's village, where a man is lighting torches along both sides of the road. Suddenly, a Lampor comes flying in and attacks him. The next day, Edwin and Nita arrive at their destination. Nita's cousin, Yoyork, was supposed to pick them up. But as soon as they reach the station, they suddenly realize their daughter, Sekar, is missing. They start searching for her. Sekar had wandered off to watch a local circus. Edwin spots a man taking her away and immediately shouts to stop him. But soon, they realize the man is actually Yoyork. He explains that he saw Sekar standing alone and just stayed with her so she wouldn't feel lonely. On the way, Edwin talks on the phone with the person he owes money to. He says he's currently in Java and will repay everything once he returns. It's clear that Edwin is buried under heavy debt. When Nita suggests asking Anwar for help, Edwin refuses. He believes Anwar is too stingy and that taking his help would only make things worse. Yoyork then reveals that Nita's father, Jamal, is now the most successful tobacco businessman in the area and incredibly wealthy. However, the villagers whispered that Jamal's current wife, Asti, used black magic to control him. They also say Asti's uncle, Atmo, is a very powerful shaman. When Sekar asks what black magic is, Nita quickly stops her from listening further. Edwin adds that only people who lack confidence resort to such dark practices. Meanwhile, Adam is shocked to see a cloud shaped like a dragon in the sky. Yoyork calls it a bad omen, but Edwin refuses to believe in such superstitions. Soon after, Adam notices the torches placed along the roadside and asks about them. Yoyork explains that they mark the path of the Lampor, a flying coffin. According to him, whenever the Lampor appears, someone from the village is bound to disappear. Edwin gets irritated, accusing Yoyork of scaring the kids. Adam, unconvinced, jokes, "Does a coffin even have wings to fly?" But Nita remains silent, clearly tense. Suddenly, their car comes to a stop due to a traffic jam. Edwin and Nita step out, leaving the children inside the car, setting the stage for something terrifying to happen next. Edwin and Nita start arguing again. Netta says that her mother once told her that if she ever faced financial problems, she should ask her father for help. Edwin responds that going back to her father for money after 25 years doesn't feel right, especially when Netta herself had said that her father's wealth was earned through wrongful means. Meanwhile, a woman is shocked to hear that Netta has returned and reveals that her father, Jamal, passed away earlier that very morning. Soon after, Yoyork arrives and confirms that Jamal died of a heart attack. Edwin tries to comfort Netta, and eventually they reach the house. As soon as Netta returns to the village, the women start whispering among themselves. They believe that Netta, who left the village as a child and suddenly came back, is the real reason behind Jamal's death. According to them, her return has also brought back the terror of Lampor. Seeing Netta, one woman lashes out at her aggressively, directly blaming her for Jamal's death. At that moment, a girl named Nining steps in and tries to calm the situation. She apologizes for the woman's behavior and invites them inside, saying it's better to forget the past. Nining also mentions that Netta's return at this exact time is a strange coincidence. She explains that Jamal had breakfast that morning, but suddenly died right after. Nining then takes them inside, where they see Atmo pulling out charms from Jamal's body. She explains that while preparing the body for burial, they discovered that he was still breathing. The villagers thought he might have come back to life, so Asti called Atmo to remove the hidden charms from his body. Nining informs Asti about Netta's arrival, and at Asti's request, they are asked to sit. Asti comments that Netta looks exactly like her mother. Suddenly, Jamal's body begins to move again. Asti tells Netta to go near her father's body and say something. Netta approaches her father and says that her mother has already passed away and has forgiven him for all his mistakes. As soon as she says this, Jamal's body goes completely lifeless. Afterward, Netta introduces her husband Edwin and their children. Just then, a girl named Mita arrives, crying uncontrollably as she calls out Papa. She says that Jamal was the only person who ever loved her. Netta had no idea about this girl before. In the end, Jamal is finally buried. Netta quietly asks Yoyork not to tell Edwin anything about that childhood incident in Lampor. Suddenly, she notices that her daughter Shakar is missing. They soon find Shakar standing near the grave of Netta's younger brother. Edwin tells Adam that Netta's brother had died from an illness. Netta asks Shekar how she found the grave, and Shekar says her grandpa, Jamal, showed her the way and sent her there. Hearing this, Netta is completely shocked. In the next scene, Yoke points toward Bimo and tells Edwin that he is Jamal's assistant and a broker in the tobacco business. His job is to sell tobacco and collect debts from farmers. Meanwhile, back at the house, Ning is setting up Netta's bed and says that Netta is very lucky. She's about to inherit her father's property as soon as she arrives. When Netta asks about Mita, Ning reveals that Mita isn't actually Jamal's biological daughter. She was adopted because Jamal and Asti couldn't have children. Jamal loved Mita deeply, but the villagers believe she's only pretending to grieve to get his money. Ning also mentions that Mita and Asti don't get along at all. Mita is very stubborn and has brought a boy named Tony from the city with her. Outside, Yoke tells Edwin that Bimo is actually Asti's secret lover. Meanwhile, Netta asks Ning if her father was happy with Asti, but Ning avoids the question and instead says that Jamal had been very stressed lately, especially ever since the terror of Lampor started again in the village. On the other side, Edwin asks Yoke about the truth behind Lampor. Yoke explains that once the alarm rings after sunset, it's extremely dangerous to go outside. The villagers believe that whenever something is wrong or something bad is about to happen, the shadow of Lampor appears. He also says that spirits once had control over this evil force, but now even they can't contain it. Edwin refuses to believe any of this, although he himself sees magical charms emerging from Jamal's body. Before leaving for Semarang, Yoke gives Edwin a strict warning to keep a constant watch on his children. Meanwhile, Netta finds an old doll from her childhood in the courtyard. As soon as she picks it up, she gets a flashback. She sees herself playing with the doll when her father comes in and happily tells her that her baby brother has been born. Hearing the news, young Netta is overjoyed. When the scene returns to the present, the doll suddenly disappears. Just then, Edwin walks in, but Netta chooses to keep everything to herself. Edwin tells Netta that they should head back to the city. He says he doesn't understand the people of this village or their strange Lampor superstitions at all. Netta replies that even if many things here seem illogical, in this village, those beliefs are the ultimate truth. She then adds that if they want to get out from under their debt, they should wait for the right moment to ask Asti for financial help. In the next scene, Mita tells Netta that her father used to miss her a lot. She warns her to be careful in this house and to stay away from her stepmother Asti. Mita says Asti is extremely possessive about her property and wealth, and that she has many dark secrets. Then the scene cuts to a spirit performing a ritual near a waterfall. Meanwhile, Asti is lost in the memories of her late husband. She says that his scent still lingers on Jamal's puppies and even in his blanket. Asti tells Netta that maybe Jamal was finally able to pass away peacefully because a lost daughter like her returned home. At the same time as Mita is about to leave the house, Asti stops her. But Mita snaps back, telling her to stop pretending to be nice and openly admits that they both hate each other. Furious, Mita storms out of the house. Asti then explains that Mita has always been stubborn and a troublemaker since childhood. She requests Netta to stay there with the children for a few days. When Netta agrees, Asti orders Bimo to explain everything about Lampor to her. Bimo reveals the most important rule to survive Lampor. Don't look, don't make eye contact. Edwin asks what happens if someone breaks this rule. Bimo answers that if anyone breaks it and falls into the gaze of the evil force, they are taken away in a coffin to an unknown place. From there, some return as corpses, some come back sick or insane, and some disappear forever. In the next scene, Asti opens her wardrobe and realizes that Mita has run away with money and some valuable documents. Meanwhile, Mita reaches her boyfriend Tony with the cash and papers. Back at the house, Edwin notices that Adam is missing, so he goes out to find him. He eventually finds Adam and explains that whether they believe in Lampor or not, they must respect the local traditions and rules. Just then, a window suddenly swings open on its own. On the other side, outside, Mita tries to escape quickly with her partner Tony. But at the worst possible moment, their motorbike refuses to start. Hearing Lampor approaching, Mita is terrified. She rushes into a nearby house and screams for Tony to come inside. Meanwhile, inside the house, Edwin and Adam see Lampor with their own eyes for the first time. Horrified, they both start chanting the protective spell to save themselves. Suddenly, the window slams shut, and just then, Adam cries out, "Grandpa." Back outside, Mita keeps yelling at Tony to come in, but Tony insists there's nothing out there. At that exact moment, Lampor appears and brutally slashes Tony's throat with his hand. Seeing this, Mita freezes in fear and hides, but Lampor follows her inside. Then, just as suddenly, everything goes silent. Mita loses consciousness. Next, we see Edwin tied up, trapped inside Lampor's coffin. Suddenly, he wakes up and starts looking for the children. Netta calms him down and tells him the kids are outside playing in the field. She realizes that Edwin has now started believing in Lampor too. They understand that the villagers will never accept them, so they decide to talk to Asti and leave for their home as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Adam and Shakar are flying a kite in the field. Suddenly, Shakar calls out Grandpa and walks toward the forest. After a while, Adam notices that she's gone. Panicking, he starts searching for his sister. At the same time, In the forest, Shakar finds Mita lying on the ground and screams loudly. Adam hears her and runs toward her. Meanwhile, Netta and Edwin go looking for Asti and meet Ning, who tells them that Asti and Bimo have gone to the market. Just then, Adam and Shakar come running back to them, screaming in fear. Cut to the next scene, Edwin somehow manages to bring Mita back home alive. Suddenly, Mita becomes possessed and starts behaving very strangely. Pointing at Netta, she says that Lampor only comes for sinners, and that Netta is the one who brought Lampor here. When Ning suggests calling a spirit, Edwin insists on calling a doctor. But Ning clearly states that this is no normal illness, and leaves to summon the spirit. Meanwhile, Adam returns to his kite. This time, the string snaps, and while chasing it, he unknowingly heads alone toward the forest. The kite lands in the same spot where Mita was found. As Adam digs into the soil there, he pulls out a piece of cloth, and inside it there appears to be something like a human child. Right then, Bimo and Asti arrive and call out to him. Adam notices that the object he found in the dirt has now disappeared. Anyway, he heads back with them. Meanwhile, Shekar suddenly comes down with a high fever. Edwin starts suspecting Nita. He wants to know why she pointed fingers at Netta. Edwin begins questioning her, convinced she's hiding a huge secret. He's noticed that ever since she arrived in this village, her behavior has become extremely mysterious. Just then, Adam shows up and tells them that they're taking Mita away. Edwin runs to stop them, but Atmo explains that Mita will be left alone in the middle of the field because Lampor will come to take her. He believes that if they don't do this, a terrible disaster will fall upon the village. When Edwin protests, Atmo calls him a fool and says that Lampor is the messenger of the goddess Roro Kadul. If they disobey, a deadly epidemic will spread throughout the village. In the end, they take Mita away. In the next scene, Yoyok is seen entering the room where Mita has been kept for sacrifice. Meanwhile, Edwin is furious because the villagers are planning to sacrifice her. Netta is completely broken and blames herself, but Edwin tries to comfort her, saying she left the village at the age of 8, so there's no way she committed any sin big enough to deserve this blame. Finally, Edwin sets out to save Mita. He storms into the room and comes face to face with Yoyok. Just then, seeing Lampor outside, Yoyok tells Edwin to hide. The two of them move toward Mita. Edwin asks her who the real culprit is, so he can confirm whether Netta is innocent or not. Mita reveals that her stepmother Asti and Bimo are having an affair, and she suspects the two of them murdered her father. At that moment, Lampor arrives. All three of them shut their eyes, but Lampor grabs Mita by the throat and carries her away. Back at the house, Netta is searching for Adam when Edwin returns and tells her she's innocent. The real culprits are Asti and Bimo. They're having an affair, and they're the ones who killed her father. Mita was only being used to cover up their crime. But then Edwin realizes that Adam is missing. He immediately sets out to find him. The next day, Edwin searches the entire village, showing Adam's photo to everyone, but no one has any clue. On the way, he runs into Yoyok, and the two of them begin searching together. Meanwhile, back at the house, Atmo looks for something personal belonging to Adam, and Bimo hands him Adam's iPod. Atmo confirms that Lampor has taken Adam. Just then, Edwin steps in and protests, insisting that Adam is innocent. He turns to Bimo and says that it's because of Bimo's dark nature that Lampor has come here in the first place. The argument quickly turns physical, but Yoke and Ning manage to break them apart. Then Asti tells Edwin that if he really wants to know why Lampor chose Adam as his target, he should ask his own wife. Netta knows everything. Hearing this, Netta quietly walks away, and Edwin rushes after her. Finally, Netta breaks down and reveals the truth. 25 years ago, Lampor had actually come for her. But instead, it took her brother Radon. Radon didn't die from any illness. Lampor took him. That means his grave is empty. Edwin is left completely stunned. He lashes out at Netta for hiding such a massive truth all this time. Through tears, Netta explains that her mother lied to protect her from the guilt. They had realized that it was her father's black magic that led to Radon being sacrificed. Furious, Edwin calls Netta a sinner. He accuses her of sacrificing her own brother to save herself and says that because of that, Adam is now missing. Netta begs for forgiveness, but Edwin is determined. No matter what, he will find Adam. He then asks Yoke to take him to Lampor's lair. Yoke decides to lead Edwin towards Serdipo Waterfall and the Gondo Myth Cave, because according to old legends, that's where Lampor resides. Meanwhile, their younger daughter, Shakar, tries to comfort her mother. She tells Netta that now is the time to be strong and prove her love for her children. Surprised, Netta asks who told her that. Shakar says it was her grandfather, and that she often sees him. Then Shakar says something terrifying. Her grandfather warned her that Lampor will take either Adam or her. Netta is shaken to her core. She decides to leave Shakar at home and go out, telling her to stay safe. Netta then heads straight to her father's grave, where she vents her anger. She believes that since her brother was taken by Lampor 25 years ago, her father is angry with her and is now punishing her by taking her son. She regrets ever coming back to this village. Just then, Asti arrives and tells her the truth. Jamal never hated her. In fact, he loved her deeply. She reveals that Jamal wrote letters to Netta every year, but never knew where to send them. Asti gently tells her, blaming her father for Adam's fate is a mistake. Just then, Netta brings up the affair between Asti and Bimo. Asti doesn't deny it. Instead, she admits that Jamal already knew about their relationship and had no objection to it. Netta then accuses Asti of murdering her father. Shocked, Asti asks who said that, and Netta takes Mita's name. Meanwhile, Edwin and Yoyok reach the waterfall. Edwin immediately runs toward it, but Yoyok spots a car in the distance and quickly gets back on his motorcycle. Back, Asti tells Netta that Mita is a liar and questions how she could believe her. But Netta insists that maybe Asti and Bimo killed her father together so they could marry and take over all the property. Asti strongly protests, saying she is not a killer. She explains that she was forced into the marriage because Netta's father, Jamal, was indebted to spirits. She claims that after the marriage, she always took care of Jamal and tried to love him, even though he spent his entire life thinking about his old family. Then, Asti hands over Jamal's property papers to Netta. At the same time, Atmo and Bimo step out of a car, unaware that Yoyok is already hiding nearby. Atmo heads straight toward the waterfall. Elsewhere, Shekhar is inside the house drawing. When Netta arrives, Shekhar tells her that she can see Grandpa and that he showed her a picture made by Adam. She then shows Netta something on Adam's iPod. Meanwhile, Edwin is searching for Adam near the waterfall. Netta gives the iPod to Asti and tells her to watch the video, while she decides to go look for more evidence, leaving Shekhar with her. After Netta leaves, Asti plays the video, and what she sees completely shatters her. The footage reveals that Bimo is actually having an affair with Ning. In the video, they openly talk about how they murdered Jamal and are now waiting for Atmo's orders to poison Asti and take control of the property. While recording this, Adam was caught. Devastated, Asti breaks down. Suddenly, she senses Jamal's soul nearby. His spirit enters Shekhar's body and warns Asti that the very people she trusted are the ones betraying her. Moments later, the spirit disappears, and Shekhar says that Grandpa is gone. On the other side, Atmo reaches a cave and begins preparing for a ritual. Edwin arrives there and desperately asks about his son. Atmo coldly replies, "It's already too late. Tonight, Adam will become a sacrifice for Lampor." Edwin shouts that Bimo is the real culprit, so why is Adam the one being punished? Hearing this, Atmo suddenly attacks Edwin, and a brutal fight breaks out between them. In the end, Edwin lands a powerful blow into Atmo's stomach. But Atmo quickly recovers, knocks Edwin unconscious, and escapes outside. Meanwhile, Netta follows the drawing and reaches beneath the tree. At the same time, Atmo approaches Bimo and whispers something to him. The scene cuts back inside the cave, where Edwin regains consciousness. Outside the cave, Bimo is seen driving a car straight over Atmo's legs. Soon after, Edwin also comes out and finds Atmo lying there. Just then, Yoyok emerges from the darkness, and the two decide to retreat immediately. Elsewhere, Netta starts digging at the spot and finds the same thing that Adam had discovered earlier. Suddenly, Ning attacks her from behind. Ning reveals that Netta and her family made a huge mistake by returning to the village and interfering in their work. At the same time, Atmo rises again. Netta and Ning continue fighting, and eventually, Netta manages to overpower her. But before she can react, Bimo comes from behind, strikes Netta, and knocks her unconscious. After this, it is revealed that they tie up Adam and Netta with ropes, preparing to sacrifice them to Lampor. As soon as they hear the signal of Lampor's arrival, Ning and Bimo quickly hide. Just then, Edwin and Yoyok arrive at the scene. Edwin tells Yoyok to turn off all the lights so Lampor won't be able to see them. But before the lights can go out, Lampor appears. Everyone shuts their eyes in fear. In that moment, Netta tells Edwin that she loves him deeply. She entrusts him with the responsibility of taking care of the children and apologizes for her mistakes. Lampor suddenly grabs Netta by the throat and lifts her into the air. Edwin and Adam desperately try to save her. But then, without warning, Lampor drops Netta and turns toward Adam. At that moment, Yoyok turns the car headlights toward Bimo and Ning, causing Lampor to shift its attention toward them. In a desperate attempt to save himself, Bimo pushes Ning toward Lampor. Ning grabs Bimo's hand, but in panic, Bimo brutally cuts her hand off. Still, it doesn't save him. A heavy trap suddenly falls from above, crushing Bimo. Then suddenly, the house catches fire, and Lampor takes Ning with him and disappears. Once things calm down a bit, Edwin asks Netta about Sekar. Netta freezes in fear as she remembers the prophecy that Lampor would take either Adam or Sekar. Without wasting a second, she rushes back toward the house. Meanwhile, Asti is sitting with Sekar. Suddenly, she hears a noise at the window. Panicking, she hides Sekar under the bed and orders not to open his eyes no matter what. Asti goes to check the window, but just then, a spirit slips inside and drags Sekar out from under the bed. At the same time, Lampor enters through the main door. The spirit tells Sekar to open his eyes and scream. The moment Sekar screams, Lampor hears him. Asti tries to stop Lampor, but she fails. Netta returns, but by then, it's already too late. Lampor is flying away with Sekar inside a coffin. Netta immediately jumps into her car and starts chasing him. After some distance, the coffin drops down. Netta flashes her headlights at Lampor and speeds forward. She turns her car and slams straight into the coffin. She quickly gets out of the car, rescues Sekar, and tries to hide somewhere safe. Nada tells Sekar to wait there and assures him that Edwin and Adam will come to get him. Then she decides to sacrifice herself to the evil force. She says, "I'm the one you're looking for. Take me, but leave my children and my family alone." Suddenly, she hears the voice of her father Jamal. He recites a Javanese proverb, "No matter how powerful evil is, it will always lose to love and truth in the end." He reminds Netta of her mother's final message. Sekar then runs out and goes to Netta. She hugs him tightly and repeats her mother's last words. Meanwhile, Lampor slowly moves toward them. The scene cuts back to the house, where Edwin confronts Atmo. Atmo reveals that Ning and Bimo did all of this out of greed for property, but his real plan is far more sinister. He wants to sacrifice Netta to Lampor. With that sacrifice, Atmo would become an invincible and powerful shaman, strong enough to even control Lampor itself. But before he can finish, Lampor suddenly appears and takes Atmo away. After this, Netta and Sekar safely return home. Edwin and Netta reunite. Edwin realizes his mistake and apologizes. They confess their love for each other and promise to reunite their family. In the final scene, Lampor is shown attacking Yoyok. With this, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.